to do a final follow-up on my thoughts and usage of the Aiyima A80 in combination with the FiiO K11 R2R. I've had a lot of time now, a couple of months at least, probably even more, of using both the R2R as a DAC and the Aiyima A80 internal DAC as well. And now I am still using the Sparkos SS3602 op amps on the A80, and those are amazing op amps. So even compared to the stock ones and OPA 627, there's more bass extension. It's like it kicks a little lower. I think I mentioned this in my previous review video as well. But yeah, the sound stage is a little wider. Stereo imaging is a little, well, it's hard to describe, but the vocals are slightly more in the middle, more centralized. It feels more lively, but the soundstage and stereo image of instruments, they're slightly wider and brought further backwards or forwards from your perspective or from the listening perspective. So that I found really good because it gives it more of a live feel to the music, and especially live recordings, so Spotify Lives, acoustics and so on, they sound amazing through that setup using the DAC built into the A80. Now, once I switched over to using the K11 R2R's DAC as the primary DAC, so I have got it connected via RCA to the A80's RCA inputs, and the R2R is connected to my PC via USB. So the only connection to the PC is the R2R, and Windows sees just the R2R as well. And the sound flicking between the two back and forth, the R2R, K11 R2R, is most definitely wider on soundstage, and there's a bit more high frequency or high frequency range detail there as well that the A80's internal DAC doesn't quite resolve to the same level. It's still very good, don't get me wrong. The imaging is good, the soundstage is wide as well, but the way it sounds, it feels more natural from the K11 R2R. Whether that's because of the R2R ladder architecture or not, I don't know, because the A80's DAC is only a Sigma Delta, but what I'm hearing is that the sound or the music coming out of the R2R DAC connected to the A80, because at the moment in this configuration, A80 I'm only using as power amplifier for my speakers, and the speakers are still the Triangle Comete 40th anniversary. And on these speakers, super wide soundstage speakers with super high resolving power, it works really well. So the R2R DAC definitely is the DAC to use at this price especially. And there was a subtle difference I noticed, because I've got the iPower V2 linear, it's not linear, it's a switching power supply, but it's a clean low noise power supply. So there's a subtle difference I noticed when using that as well. It's only £60, so kind of a no-brainer not to get it, and that did improve things slightly. Not in terms of noise or distortion or anything like that, it's just the soundstage and imaging seemed to be a little different. And once I had that installed on the R2R, that's when I started noticing more of an obvious difference between using the DAC inside the A80 compared to the DAC inside the K11 R2R. And now I couldn't imagine not using the R2R as the primary DAC feeding the power amplifier on the A80. And then the output stage is obviously using the op amps, the Sparkos op amps, which is then driving the speakers. So for headphones amp, I'm still using the R2R and the 4.4 balanced output. Really good sound. So effectively now what I'm getting is the sound that I'm hearing through the speakers, I'm hearing through my RES Stealth headphones when I'm just using the K11 R2R. And it's really easy to switch between the two. All I need to do is just double tap to switch to phone's output for the headphones, and double tap twice to go to line output with fixed volume. Real easy, straight and simple, no remote control or anything needed. I don't even use the remote control that comes with the A80 as well. Everything is just done via the dial, and that works really well, and I like that. The only downside I've found, or the only negative on the A80, I think I mentioned this in the other video as well, is if I put the display's brightness to low or medium, then I can hear it's like an electrical hum or coil whine sound. That's to my ears. Most people probably wouldn't be able to hear that because I seem to have the ability to hear electrical whine more than other people. So power adapters, USB dongles on some devices and so on, I can hear the whining coming from them at certain levels. Certain keyboards as well, the RGB. If the RGB is on a low brightness level, I can hear the whining coming from the circuitry. So that may just be my ears. Other people may not be able to hear that at all, so it might be fine. But at high brightness level, it's fine, it goes away completely. And when I turn the display off, it goes away obviously as well. So I tend to just leave it on the high brightness level, just because I like seeing those VU meters go back and forth when I'm listening to music properly. I guess I'll play something for a few seconds to not upset the copyright algorithm, but just take a listen to this. I have got a microphone on top of the speaker there as well, so that should pick up some sound. But yeah, here we go.
I spend the night talking to you, revealing those feelings.
But yeah, music like that, the vocals, the instruments in the background, it just envelopes you with the way these horn tweeters are designed and the way they're outputting sound. It's like almost holographic in a way, coming from two speakers in midfield setup. So as a desktop setup, I couldn't have hoped for any better for this price. Obviously the speakers aren't cheap, but they're speakers for life now for me. And I know for a fact now that once I get a better DAC, not that this is bad, it's just it's an awesome DAC as it is anyway, I'll be unlocking more potential from these speakers, because I know that these aren't realizing the full potential at the moment, even though they do sound amazing as it is. And I could potentially call this endgame, but the rabbit hole that we're in, there you can't really safely say there's an endgame because there's always going to be something around the corner. So I've got a DAC that I've seen that I really like the look of. It's the new Luxline X9. I have asked for a review sample, so they are just checking on authorization for that at the moment, so I will get that in as long as they can authorize it. Otherwise I'll just buy it once it's out at the end of the month. So I'll be really interested to see what the sound is like feeding my A80, because I'm not going to get rid of that. That's a really good amp, powerful as well to feed these speakers, but having a DAC which colors and gives different character to the sound, that's what I'm all about now. So A80 is staying as far as I'm concerned, and now it still does run hot, but that's fine. I've not had any issues with that at all. I use it probably 8 to 10 hours a day, every day, so no issues with crashes or heat related throttling or anything like that. The R2R has been faultless as well, have no issues with it whatsoever. I kind of wish the volume dial on the R2R was like on the A80. So this is weighted, this has some heft when you're turning it, but you don't have that on the R2R. It's like a lightweight aluminium dial with knurling on the edges, so you can still grip it, but it just doesn't have that same feel as the A80. But then again, I only need to use the dial on here when I'm using headphones, so it's not the end of the world. It is what it is. That thing there, that's not a DAC or anything, it's just my controller for the light bar on top of the monitor. There's no noise floor at all, even though I'm doing analog output onto the A80. There's like zero noise, even at maximum volume when nothing's playing, so that's really cool to see. And distortion wise, I've not really heard any distortion. Unless something is recorded poorly or mastered poorly, then there's no distortion or anything that I've heard at all. But yeah, super cool sound. Whether it's music, games, movies, TV shows, whatever I've tried with this, multiple genres of music as well. I'll put a playlist that I use. I've got a hi-fi playlist that I curate and it's constantly updated, so I'll put a link to it in the description below just so you guys can hear it as well. And yeah, for the price I paid £201 for this at the time when it launched, £150 for the R2R, £70 for the Sparkos op amps, and the £60 IFI iPower V2 power supply, also highly recommended. Speakers, it doesn't really matter. I have had the KEF Q300 and the Bowers & Wilkins 607 S3, really good speakers, but again, too wide a soundstage for me. This was more articulate and more live wide, or more authentic, whereas the Bowers & Wilkins, they felt more artificial wide, so they weren't for me. But yeah, these speakers are just next level for my needs anyway, at least. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say.